You think Arizona is tough on illegal immigration? In the heart of Dixie, Southern hospitality is as sweet as the tea, but not for illegal immigrants. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Guy Atchley. Jennifer Waddell has the night off. Alabama is known as the Yellow Hammer State, and they are putting the hammer down on illegal immigration. Alabama's strict new immigration law requires police to jail anyone who cannot prove he or she is in the country legally. The problem is Alabama's finest don't know how to enforce it. Sound familiar? 9 on your sides, Claire Dewan is on Immigration Watch tonight. And Claire, I know that you've been looking into this new law. How does it compare to Arizona's SB 1070?
You know, Guy, it is stricter and broader than ours, and this ruling by a federal judge affirms most of the law, including a section similar to the one in SB 1070 struck down last year. Now the decision makes it even likelier the Supreme Court will ultimately decide the fate of different state immigration laws.
Unlike Arizona, Alabama officers can check a person's immigration status during traffic stops and arrests. The ruling by Judge Sharon Blackburn also voids contracts with illegal immigrants, and it allows schools to determine the immigration status of students. Tucson immigration attorney John Messing says the decision will not affect Arizona.
The Arizona judge is kind of an equal of the Alabama judge sitting in a different part of the country, so it's unlikely anything that the Alabama judge did is going to affect the proceedings in front of the Arizona judge.
The Alabama case is on its way to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, and if that ruling differs from the one on SB 1070, the U.S. Supreme Court may take up the case. Republican State Representative Vic Williams welcomes that.
I'm confident that the major part of SB 1070 and its ability to enforce will be upheld at the Supreme Court, as well as you see other states like Alabama, Tennessee, Utah develop these types of laws as well.
Messing says lawmakers in other states have learned from the mistakes in Arizona's law, but that presents a risk for them.
The more there is divergence in these various laws, the more the point of the federal government becomes clear that it becomes harder and harder to manage things that are different in different states.
Some SB 1070 supporters believe that's only because the federal government has failed.
Oh, there's certainly a valid point there. You want uniformities in these laws. However, our federal government has completely failed in trying to enforce legal immigration policy at the federal level.
Either way, other states considering stricter immigration laws are now waiting to hear from the nation's highest court.
But I would imagine that having a uniform, authoritative decision would help people who were looking at immigration laws. It would be very beneficial.
The Justice Department says it is reviewing the Alabama ruling to determine the next steps. Meanwhile, Governor Brewer has said she hopes the U.S. Supreme Court will take up the issue of illegal immigration just to get some much-needed clarity.
And what if the Supreme Court chooses not to take up the case?
Well, Guy, then the lower court rulings for different states stay in effect, which is essentially what's happening right now, each state enforcing its own immigration laws.
And it will all get even more confusing. All right, Claire, thank you.